back to the sacred space. My name is Galu and I'm also known as the Scribe Priestess, and on this channel I make videos about our spiritual journey here on earth, spiritual practices and spiritual development. So in today's video we are going to continue the spiritual practices series that we have been going through on this last month. And this time I am going to talk about a spiritual practice that I find one to be absolutely crucial and fundamental in our spiritual development journey. And this practice is intuition development. And as always, you guys, there is going to be an extended version of this video on my webpage. On that extended version, I am going to be talking about why, for example, using tarot and other tools of symbolism can help us to get in touch and get in contact with our intuition. If you're curious enough, you can go and check it out on my webpage. You have to become a member of our beautiful community to be able to access this video library. So without further ado, let's get started with today's video. So you guys, intuition development. Our intuition is that inner voice that we have inside of us that is actually connected to our inner wisdom, but it's also connected to our spirit guides, to our higher selves. That's the way also we can connect to God. God is the universe. So our intuition is that tiny little voice inside of us that is guiding us. There is a very interesting way of looking at intuition. Have you seen that representation of intuition of the tiny devil and the tiny angel speaking to you, like the tiny angel trying to say like, be good and follow the rules and blah blah blah, and the tiny devil is always there like, nah, do whatever you want, ha 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 ha. So actually, that's a funny way of looking at our intuition, but our intuition is the capacity to bring balance to our lives, but actually it is what helps us to develop our discernment. So that weighing down of possibilities of decisions, it's actually something that comes with the development of our discernment. So what is discernment? That is something that I will invite you guys to take a couple of minutes. So pause the video if you want and just close your eyes and think about the word discernment. Try to connect with it and what discernment means to you, because discernment is a word that we don't normally use in our day-to-day lives, but discernment is actually key to our spiritual development here on earth. Discernment is the capacity of understanding far way more than is being given explicit, but also you get to go in the implicit stage of the matter. If you took already a little bit of time on tackling the word discernment, I would love if you would leave me down in the comments below, what does discernment mean to you? I'm gonna tell what discernment means to me. So discernment is the capability or capacity that I have to ponder a given situation and to be able to, with my own capacities and my wisdom, determine whether this situation is going to be of benefit for me or is going to be on my detriment side. To me, it's also the capacity we have as human beings to reckon or to recognize the false light. So that's a very key concept in spirituality, because a lot of times we see things that tend to have a spiritual glow, but at the core of the situation are dark practices. a lot of practices that tend to name themselves as white practices or light practices or spiritual practices are actually dark and more in this demonic realm and obscure practices. And the thing is that you have to have a very good discernment to be able to catch the moments where the false light is working. I want to be very clear with this, you guys. Discernment is something that comes with time and practice. It doesn't mean because you have been 20 years working in spirituality or with your psychic abilities that you're not going to be tackling energies that are dark, that are going to be playing with you and giving you false light. It can happen anytime. It can happen to any of us. And one of the things that you can do as a psychic that is going to cause you a little bit of troubles is to believe that because you have already gone through an awakening, or because you have already learned 20 years and you have done all the work, then that believing that you are not going to be victim of this false light. The more you shine, the more you're going to be sending light and sending this God energy. You are going to also attract the false light, because these beings, these energies are feeding from the energy that you are going to be just emanating. So it doesn't mean because you have already gone through a spiritual journey that you're not going to be victim of these things. And it's good to know this, and it's good to talk about this, because a person who is going to tell you like, no, I already know everything that it's to know in life, and I am so high up in my spiritual journey that I am never going to be receiving mixed messages, and I am never going to be contacted by false light. Everything that I channel is just pure light, and I never... If you encounter a person like this, use your intuition. And what is your intuition telling you? That it's the moment to use your discernment and to be able to say, is this person actually telling the truth, or does it make sense? We can all do mistakes as human beings. And the person who is going to tell you and come and say, no, I am perfect, I don't do that, I am already far way over all of you guys, I would really, really take a step back and just ask myself, why am I listening to this person? Why did this person come into my life? Because we are all humans and we make mistakes, and it's okay. The thing is, what do you do after this mistake? Are you going to stay there with your mistake and be just like, oh yeah, whatever, I won't do anything? Or are you going to do something about it? Are you going to say, wow, I'm sorry, I did a mistake and I'm trying to do my best to make it better and not do it again? It's how you react to these moments that actually tell a lot about your attunement. Being able to get in contact with your intuition is going to help you navigate those moments where people are going to either try to manipulate you, or these other energies that are working in the lower astral realms are going to try to make you take decisions or make you go in a certain direction that is going to detour you of your purpose, of your path, of your spiritual development journey. I also believe that, for example, the dark night of the soul, one of them that we all have is adolescence. That is part of the spiritual development that we have here on earth. So, all of these hormonal changes, your sense of identity is changing. And when we are adolescents, we tend to go into the depths of the realm that we are living here. And we tend to get ourselves surrounded with lower astral energies, or these obscure energies who are trying to just suck the life off of us. Because that's what they do. They take our energy and they use it. So they are, because they cannot produce energy themselves. And this is very interesting to be talking about, because in the moment that we are not able to make peace with ourselves and to say, okay, everything that I went through in life has taught me something, has been a master and a teacher on my path as a human being, the more you're going to be stuck in the past and unable to grow and mature and follow also your path of development. So the key part of this dark night of the soul, or like the shadow work, also is to be able to come out of this and continue your journey and everything that you're learning here on earth. And a lot of this has to do with our intuition and our intuition development. So as I said, discernment to me is the capacity we have as human beings to actually be critical and to be activating our critical thinking to evaluate what we want, to make a decision, to make a statement, to say, I like this and I don't like this, and this resonates with me and this doesn't. And a lot of these things, because that's another thing, you guys. If you go through life without making any decisions, so if people ask you, do you like this or do you like that, and you say to yourself, I don't care, either of them, or you don't start to make up your opinion about one of these twos, that energy is also a decision. So you're deciding to be passive and to just let everything come to you, and that other people are taking decisions for you. So the more you get into contact with your inner voice, your inner wisdom, your intuition, the connection you have to your higher self, to your angels, to your spirit guides, to God, Goddess, the universe, and yourself, the more you're going to be able to direct yourself on a path that is actually the one that you want, the one that you are going to be building and walking for you in this life journey. So it's absolutely important to be developing your intuition. There are a lot of things that are said to us every single day. So there are a lot of messages, every time the universe is interacting with us. Every single time you are receiving messages and receiving situations, memories, coincidences, that the destiny, they call it too. But that's life co-creating with you. So that's also what you have been manifesting, and the universe and the life talking back to you and telling you, yes, so you decided for this and this, so go this way. And you're going to start receiving a lot of messages to guide you in the way that where you're going to be receiving what you ask for. So in order to be able to receive these messages, to receive this guidance, it is crucial to get in touch with our intuition. A lot of times people think that intuitive people are psychic and that the other people who are not psychic are not intuitive, and that is wrong. That is absolutely nonsense. It doesn't work like that. We are all here intuitive people. We are all psychic. The thing that is going to be differentiating us, so making us an individual, is our path and our current state with our psychic abilities and our intuition development. But we all have an intuition, we all have psychic abilities. It's just how far on the journey you are with these abilities and the development of them. The more you get in touch with your intuition, you can also actually start connecting more to your psychic abilities, and that's pretty cool. I know that a lot of people dream about having psychic abilities. They go like, yes, I want to be clairvoyant. And there are a lot of other ones who already have their gifts very awakened, and they also have to learn how to manage them here on earth and in reality. So the person who is trying to develop or say like, I would like to be clairvoyant, most probably that person is already and there is already a desire to something that deep down inside of the person knows that that's a way or that's an ability that they already possess inside of them. I find that very interesting, that a lot of things, or that we tend to mix the spiritual topics and spiritual journeys with the fact that if you are psychic, then it means that you're a spiritual person. But when the case is that we are all psychics and we are all spiritual persons, it's just your decision and your commitment to developing those abilities and understanding that it is a path, that it is a journey, and it takes discipline, and it takes also a lot of commitment to be able to activate those psychic abilities. Before you start activating any psychic abilities or any gifts and abilities that you have already incarnated here on earth, you have to strengthen your intuition, your connection to the divine, your connection to your higher self, your angels, and your spiritual guides, God, Goddess, the universe. Because that's the path, that's the key that you're going to be following in everything that you're going to be encountering on your path. And let me tell you guys, just because you start to have this experience of being inside of the spiritual realm, or because you're already in a spiritual journey, as I said, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have some moments where challenges are going to come to you, where things can go a little bit down the road, and that you're going to have to make changes, or you will have to stand up for yourself, speak aloud what you think. And actually I believe that the spiritual development journey for a lot, mostly everyone, is also being able to express and communicate your point of view, even if that differs from other people's opinions. So it's how you are able to express that, to communicate your point of view without having to crush the other person, or without having to recur to being disrespectful. Is how you communicate your points of view and your values that are going to show your attunement, as I said. But you are going to be confronted with a lot of situations in your life where you're going to have to sacrifice, so saying no to things in order to follow your purpose, in order to follow your path. And it's like, we come again to this little devil and the little angel always saying like, go this way. So for example, when you're starting a new habit, you want to start a new habit of making qigong every single day, 20 minutes. Maybe the first 3 days are going to go very good for you, but then on the 4th day, you are going to have this little devil with you telling you like, oh, if you don't do it one day, it's okay. No one will know. And you're like, okay, maybe I can just chill today, and doesn't matter. I'm not trying to. And you start down this road of, actually, did I want that habit or not? Instead of just listening to your angel here saying like, hey, follow this, because after 90 days of doing something, I can assure you, you're going to start seeing the results. Or if you're starting to quit sweets, oh my God, that's a big one, because sugar is highly addictive. So, you said to yourself, okay, I'm not going to eat more cookies. and suddenly you are at the supermarket and you go past the cookie aisle and you can become the devil. You know, hey, just one cookie is not gonna make a difference if you eat one cookie more or one cookie less, whatever, just take it, it doesn't make. And on the other side you have your angel just saying like, hey, stick to your commitment, it's good for you, remember what you committed yourself with, remember your goal, you can do this. And this is the discernment. Which voice are you going to listen to? And that's the key part of your intuition coming in play. If you get your intuition there at the moment, you say like, okay, why am I listening to this? What is my intuition telling me at this moment? Is it really true that if I eat a cookie right now, it doesn't put me back on my goal? Or does it? Do I want that? Do I actually need it? And that's the thing. And you start connecting more and more to the capacity to being critical and to understand that you are all the time receiving messages, receiving energies. And the more familiar you become of internalizing the messages, your ideas, and everything that you are receiving, and putting them through a mesh, you know, just like selecting the things that are good and not. Do you know how many thoughts we have as humans every single day? It's a lot. It's just too much sometimes. And if we would agree on everything that we are thinking, then it would be a chaos, because not everything that we think should be brought to reality. Not everything that we think is actually worth manifesting. And that's a key part of understanding what mentalism is. And if you understand this, you know that a lot of the times your intuition comes to play there. And if you take the time to listen to yourself, to actually connect to you and say, okay, was this my intuition? Was this something else? The more you're going to find out that you are always, and I mean always, you are always being guided. It's amazing the amount of love God has for us, Goddess has for us, the universe has for us. We are all the time being guided. Ask for help and you will receive it. Ask for guidance and you will receive it. The key point is that the more you develop your intuition, the more you're going to be able to attune yourself to the messages you are receiving, to be able to catch it, to understand that when you are walking in nature and suddenly a bird stops right by your side and starts beep, 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 beep. Do you think it's that it just was a coincidence that was happening at the right moment at that specific time and place? Or was there something else there? And I know that a lot of people could say like, yeah, but that's superstitious. If we actually, but I want to talk about the different awakenings that I have had already on my journey. But there was one that it was very, very intense and very life-changing, because I was absolutely taken like from reality, of the reality, this 3D that we are just living here, and put on another one for a couple of weeks. And I'm gonna talk about that because it's a cool story and I want to share that with you guys, because I didn't took any psychedelics or anything like that, and I had a very intense experience, a spiritual experience and awakening journey that actually brought me to not only understand how everything is connected, but to follow this path of a spiritual guidance. I'm gonna tell that I'm going to talk about that. But yes, everything is connected. We are all interconnected and everything is connected. We are all a creation and we are all one. So the more we get into that, the more we get into, my intuition is here to guide me and I can take time. That is one of the most amazing things about time, you guys, is that we understand it linear here on Earth, but time, it's a known creation. It's a being. Time is a being. And the more we understand that, the more we're going to be taking in consideration that we can take time to make decisions and to just receive the things, process them, stick to them, or just put them aside or say no to them. It's actually part of the development we should be doing here on Earth. This is a very important spiritual practice. There are a lot of ways we can connect to our intuition. I work a lot with writing. I love to work with writing, but I also work with hypnosis. And that's a beautiful way of connecting to your subconscious mind and being able to understand that we have a lot of wisdom. We have the answers inside of us, but we need to go and do the work. We need to go and take a look there in our subconscious mind, in our intuition. Our dreams are fully connected to this power our intuition is. Our emotions are connected to our intuition. That's why I make a lot of emphasis on developing our knowledge and wisdom about emotions, that we need to actually understand our emotional world, because it holds the key to our inner guidance, to our inner higher wisdom. Our emotions are part, like this, they're just intertwined. It's one with our intuition. So that's why when you are feeling also angry, or you're feeling sad, or these emotions that maybe are not that that you're not very happy to be experiencing, they also have their role to play in your life. They are also telling you something. And the more you sit with them and you talk to them and you see eye to eye with your emotions, not to dismiss them, but to be actually able to process them, to integrate them in order to transmute them later on, that is part of our spiritual development journey. That is part of being able to understand our inner world, to co-create with the universe the life that we want. So yes, you guys. There are a lot of techniques, as I said. I do offer spiritual guidance, and if you are on a journey path of developing your intuition, I am here, happy to share with you my offerings to help you develop your intuition. And I am still going to talk about spiritual practices here on this channel, and a lot of practices that I have already talked about can help you develop your intuition. Follow your intuition. Believe me, it is quite accurate. It is quite accurate to be tuning yourself to the guidance of your higher self, your angels, and your guardian angel. So thank you guys for having tuned today. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am going to talk on next video about writing this time. I said that I was going to do it before, but now I'm going to do the writing video for next week. And yes, so you guys, I am very happy, very glad and honored that I was able to talk about these subjects. And wherever you are, I am sending you guys a lot of light and a lot of love. We will see each other on next video. Bye!